What's up, everybody? Well, I got another video for you guys today, and today we're gonna build ourselves another PC. Why? Well, simply because some people online said it couldn't be done. So I love proving people wrong. So what we're gonna do is build a more powerful PC for the same price, if not maybe even slightly cheaper in some areas, than the PS5 Pro. So how are we gonna do that? Well, let's go over the parts real quick. We're not gonna make this a how to build PC or anything video. I'm gonna show the parts off real quick, and then we're just gonna build it. I'll probably show you little tidbits of how we're coming along and whatnot with the build, but I'm not gonna sit here and just point the camera for 40 minutes while I put it together. I think that'd be pretty boring. So anyway, to start with, let me get that off at the top, because first off, I figured we'd go with the bundle. I went and took a trip to Micro Center for a couple of these. So for the processor, we're going with a Ryzen 5550. Now you gotta be careful with this guy. It's not a true 5000 series CPU. It only does PCI 3.0, and it's technically like a Zen 3. So it's kind of like, think of it as a 3600 plus, but not quite a 5600. That's a good way to put it. So you also should not get anything PCI 8.0 because it's only PCI 3.0, like I said. So don't bother spending extra on a super fast drive either. I kind of did just for future proofing, but I would just get a cheap PCI 3 drive. Anyway, so that's the CPU we're going with. Part of the bundle. Then we got some memory, some Ripjaws, 16 gigs, 3200. That was also part of the bundle. And then the last part of the bundle was this motherboard. It's a GIGABYTE B550M DS3H ACR2. So all of that together, those three things, were $199. Can't be beat, so I had to take a drive. I looked all over on the internet, and unless you go used, you cannot beat that price. So then last thing that I got at Micro Center, because it was like 10 bucks cheaper than every place else at the time, we went with the ASRock Challenger, same thing that's in that Alienware, only that's the triple fan model. So we're going with a RX 9060 XT. That other thing's a 9070 non-XT. So this should be pretty awesome. And this is the 16 gig version. And it's also OC edition. I doubt that really matters, but that's the one I grabbed. So now we can get that out of the way because we've already looked over all of those particular items. Now, I did go with a PCI 4.0 just in case I ever upgrade the CPU, which I probably will eventually. The preliminary stuff is just, making a thing for the same price and perform as well, if not better, than the PS5 Pro for the same price on PC, where you get more freedom. But this is a 1 terabyte drive, so we're 1 terabyte less than the Pro, so we're losing out there. But it is at least pretty fast if you can actually use the 4.0-ness. It's 7300, I believe, 38 megabytes per second. So not too bad at all, but it will top out, I believe, at like 3800 or something like that, since it's going to be PCI 3.0 too, I think. Unless somehow the thing can use 4.0 for drives, but only 3.0 for GPUs, but that makes no sense. I would imagine it would just be PCI 3.0 for everything. And then last, I had to go on, well, this thing I got on Amazon, I should have mentioned. Couldn't find any place cheaper than that. And then this thing I also got on Amazon, because I could have gotten a slightly cheaper PSU for like $5 or $6, $7, something like that. But it was like a 550 or 500 Thermaltake white label, 500 or 550 watt. And I was like, and it was like $29.99. But I was like, nah. I saw this for 34 bucks on Amazon. It's not modular, unfortunately. Those all costed quite a bit more, which is what I would get if I was putting this and not trying to save money, because that would definitely save you some cords, but it is what it is. So it's also a 650 watt. I also just figured, well, that's nice. We get a whole extra 100 watts for a couple bucks more. Why the hell not? But we don't really need that much power for the system either. That's just nice to have for future proofing, but you definitely don't need it. So then I can't really show you a picture of what OS we're using, but I'm going to try something different. Instead of using Windows, we're going to use Bazzite. So I got Bazzite ready to go on this. Well, it says 16 gigs, but it's actually 32, which was pretty interesting. So I guess they just mislabeled it, and I got it for super cheap. So that's pretty badass. And then I'm going to leave the case as a surprise. So you'll see it once we put everything in the case for the first time. And with that, let's get to building. Well, I figured before I got started building, we would just take a quick look at the motherboard. I'm sure other people have gone over all the bundle items before, but here's all the port. The Wi-Fi thing looked interesting. It looks like you just plug it in. It's just screwing nonsense in. I like that. And you've got pretty much just a PCI, but it's got that cool quick release thing. I like that. And then you got another one down here, and then you got a 2X up there. You got 2 places for M.2s. You got 4 slots for RAM. You got 2 SATAs up here, and I think, yep, there's 2 more there, so you got 4 total. You got a USB, what does it say? USB 2 there, Interesting. So I guess it uses the USB 3, but I guess it's only USB 2 speeds. I guess that's another fault with this thing. But that's okay. I guess that's definitely for the C, if you've got one on yours. My case does not have that. And alright, I'd say we're about ready. I'm gonna get to building. Well, alright. We got the CPU installed. We got the SSD installed. We got the RAM installed. So now I guess it's about time to go put it in the case and get the power supply and the GPU installed. And then we're basically ready to get Bazzite installed already. So here we go. It's all put together, and as you can see, we did cut corners on the case. I just went and got a $16 test bench. No fans, no nothing, doesn't need it. Everything here shows you the GPU can cool itself no problem with just its 2 fans. Everything else can be passively cool because it's not going to be that hot. It came with a CPU fan, and then how do you turn it on? Well, they thought of that. They gave you this cool little thing with well, it's got some adhesive on it, so I'm probably going to put it there, bring up the cord like through this little hole here, and then probably going to mount it right there. But I just want to make sure everything works first before I do all that. I already got the cords as nice as I can get. There's nowhere to put them. That's why, especially on this kind of system, a modular one would have been infinitely better, but they also cost you more money, and we're trying to do this for on the cheap. So now it's time to go and get this thing hooked up to where I would normally do my videos on capturing gameplay. That way we can go capture the BIOS and all that stuff. Well, actually, we don't even think we need the BIOS. I'm pretty sure we can just go right in and start installing. You just have to, in my case, I think I hit F12. I have to look it up. You just have to hit your boot drive. I completely forgot that existed. Most of the time I go and do it the old noob way of changing the boot order, but you don't really have to do that. Anyway, enough blabbing. Let's go and get that done. Well, alright. We're all set up where I usually do my capturing of gameplay, and definitely not what most would call a looker. I kind of like it though. To me, it's like an old rat rod, and it's still a decently powerful little PC. So I guess we'll do what we usually do, and well, I already took a little hit beforehand since I hadn't hit the bowl, I think, the whole time I was building. Right before I took a hit at the beginning of the video like usual, and I think I just built the computer real quick. So I think we'll still do what we usually do. Let me get rid of some of that stale smoke, because that is nasty, let me tell you. Nobody wants stale smoke. But we'll do what we usually do. We'll take a quick hit, and we'll try to power it on. It should power on unless I hooked up the power button wrong or there's something wrong with it. Get out of there, stale smoke. And alright, let's see if she turns on. No, it does not. But there might be something I forgot to do. I don't think I ever turned the power supply on. So let's just try that real quick. I don't know if that was on or off before, but let's try it. Hey, that's all it was. So let's see if it posts. Though I just realized this keyboard is funky and I have no idea how to make use of the keys. F keys, and I need to do F12. So it is going to take it a little while to train, but it might just be sitting there boot looping over and over and over again too. We're not getting picture out yet. Oh, nope, I think we're going to have picture because I just saw the LED on my monitor turn on. Yep, there we go. So I'm going to go and figure out how to get this thing to boot so I can boot and start installing Bazzite, but I'll figure that out off camera real quick. We don't need to waste time and make you guys wait through all that. All right, so here we are in the installation window. Definitely kind of neat. So we're just going to hit install and see what's what. This is not a guide or anything. It's just kind of me installing this for the first time. The only thing I have experience with is Ubuntu and SteamOS. Those are the only Linux distros I've ever used. So this will be a first. But I've heard good things, so I figured we'd try it. Save some money and not have to mess around with Windows. So this will not even be a dual boot. This is just a straight up pure Bazzite install, which makes it even easier. Because when you try to dual boot Windows, it sounded like it's annoying. Like sometimes Windows can break Bazzite and weird shit can happen, and then you're taking a bunch of extra space. It just didn't seem right. And for some reason, it wasn't giving me the correct time. But eventually, so I was sitting here like, Detroit is right, but why is it not? Is it somehow something I have to pick, like my actual town? But no. So it fixed itself later once I got into the OS anyway. I'm not even gonna lie, right there, I kind of forgot I was even recording. I was like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't just sit there and fuck around with that. That's not gonna make for good shit, and I know I'm not gonna remember to edit that out, so we'll just real quickly type my name in there. I'm not gonna make you guys wait while I sit there and type. All right, so we're gonna race and install because there's nothing on this disk anyway. The only time that would be a problem is if you were installing stuff on multiple stuff and you were trying to do that, what do you call it, dual booting stuff. So this screen stays up for quite a while. I'd say it lasted about 15 minutes on this system till we were like moving on to another one. I just kind of cut to the end here. It did not go that fast. I wish. But this was about, 12, 15 minutes, somewhere around there. It got to this finalization in progress. And then I wasn't quick enough. And I tried to get rid of the freaking USB drive right after it installed, or after I hit restart. Once it gets done with this, it brings up another couple windows. And I sat there waiting for like 20, 30 minutes, and it's just sitting there spinning the wheel, spinning the wheel. I'm loading Bazzite, and I'm like, I don't think it's actually loading Bazzite. I think you're gaslighting me. And yeah, I just didn't pull out fast enough. I was trying to load the install again, and then I pulled it. So it was like, hey, I'm going to... Wait a minute, what was I doing? I was trying to load this thing, but I ain't got nothing here, so I can't. But, yeah, I think that's pretty much good. Why don't we go ahead and let that go, finish it up, and I'll just pause it in a couple seconds here, and we'll move on to the next little thing. There we go. It's successfully installed. So you can exit to the live desktop. Now, I kind of thought this was going to reboot your system, but you have to read. To begin using Bazzite, reboot your system. So hit exit to live desktop, and then you're going to have to go down to the little, what would be the start bar, but it's the Bazzite bar, and hit restart. And then it'll go into another little bit of installation stuff you got to do. So we'll just restart. This is the thing where I got kind of confused. I sat here for like 20 minutes like, man, I know Windows takes a while to do stuff, but this is ridiculous. I thought Linux was supposed to like kick Windows ass in like loading and being quicker and everything. But nope, that was my bad. Didn't pull the USB drive fast enough, so I sat here looking at this, hoping it was just doing drivers and stuff like that in the background. But no, it was doing nothing. I could have sat here for 17 years, and it would have sat here doing the exact same thing. So eventually, I decided enough. Restarted, and then it brought me to this screen. Well, there was one screen before it, but you pretty much just have to click the right thing. You gotta put your password in, which is not your password you picked for your operating system. It's clear blue. All lowercase, no spaces. I even messed up when I typed it in. So if you mess up a couple times, it's no big deal. It'll just keep asking you until you get it right. And I don't know. I suck when I'm like making these videos and I'm sitting here like, oh, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. And then I mess up more. So I guess I would be bad under pressure would be the way to put that. But pretty much after you put your password in, you enroll the keys, and then you can go on to the next step. See? I typed it all in. Password doesn't match. No big deal. It didn't break the install. Didn't do nothing. I just paused the video, went back. Now it should say, preparing system, please wait. This is what I thought it was doing before on that first screen. But now it really is doing that. So it didn't take too long, though. I think like right after I paused this video, because I thought it was going to take like as long as the other stuff, it got done like 15 seconds later. I was like, oh, okay. Obviously, it's going to be different depending on what your components are, but it's not like this CPU and everything is like insanely fast. It's not super slow, but it's not super fast either. It just kind of is. It's a great beginner entry CPU and leaves you plenty of upgrade options. So now after that's done, you get to this screen, which is very similar to like the Windows screen where you pick out all of your stuff. All right, where are we? We want 5. There we go. That works. And I'm not technically Indiana, but that is what I am. And we're just going to use the wired connection, but you can connect to your wireless here as well. Interesting. I guess this motherboard doesn't support 6 gigahertz. It's not seeing my 6 gigahertz thing. So we're going to do that. It's going to restart. Scared me a couple times. I thought, oh shit, because it brought me back to this thing. I'm like, are we stuck in a loop or something? So just do this again. It's a little wonky. And we just want that. Now this screen, I've heard, might get stuck. But don't listen to any of the stuff it tells you about time, calculator, or any of that. It's a liar. The download speed is also a liar. Because if it really was going to take as long as it says it was going to, I would have been here a while. But it got done in like a couple of seconds. Not even a full minute, I would say. Well, once it started. It took it probably a little while to start doing this. That was probably like, what, 40 seconds or something like that? Maybe 30. But it'll sit here doing this without saying anything for a little while. Then eventually it'll give you like a really low downloading speed. And it'll tell you, yeah, like 19 minutes remaining. It's not really going to take 19 minutes. That's the part I was talking about. That's kind of bullshit. And then it said I was downloading at like 5 megs a second. And I'm like, dude, I can download like 118. But I think it was just lying and freezing and not actually doing it. Because notice how it's not doing anything besides like the 5.4 second thing's not moving at all. The only thing that it's doing is the counter is timing down. The bar just moved a little bit, and we jumped up to 15.95. So I think it's actually probably at like 40 megs or something right now, and it's just going up. And if it lasted long enough, it would probably inform us of such. But yeah, you basically stay on that screen for a little while, and then after that's done, you restart again, and you're brought to this screen. So just pick all your different stuff. We're going to use the Ryzen one for now. When I do my screen recording, I'll have to change that. And then we'll have to sign in. And there we go. Now you are in SteamOS. And it goes through a little thing telling you all about it. But if you've been in big picture mode, that's half of what SteamOS is. But the best thing is it stays out of its own way. Now, stuff looks a little like discolored and stuff because I still had HDR on at this point. So sorry about that. I completely forgot to turn that off. So that's why colors look a little muted and weird. But anyway, I'd say I'm going to let that download real quick. We'll go try some games out. Obviously, need a pretty easy to run game, but still a game nonetheless. Well, let's hop in, shall we? So we're just going to max this game out at 1080p. Obviously, this thing could handle way more than 1080p on a game like this. You could probably play this game at 4K, no problem, and get 60 plus. But there we go. That's the settings we're going to use. So, should be able to do just fine. We got our game scope thing. That took me a while to learn the key combination for that one. I'm used to having a little button that just brings it up on my Steam Decks and my Lenovo. Anyway, though, why don't we get to gaming?
This whole thing feels like a movie.
On his mind, our PI steps into the dark valleys of the city. But what awaits in the shadows?
Dumb wise guys and fake cheese wheels. That it's not open house day, but would a little hospitality kill you?
but our hero's still on his feet. No second take needed.
I've had breakfast that did more damage. Yes, artists. Turning caffeine and panic attacks into someone else's success. Be free, little birds. Just don't come back.
Well, alright, let's get a little camera recorder gameplay.
Oh, the stance, the grit. You ought to swing by sometime. Oh, damn. You up for casting too?
Hey, you there. The name Betty Lynch ring any bells?
Yeah, of course, but was that gunfire just now? Like right outside?
Relax. They're just shooting a crime picture. Now about Betty. Where do I start looking?
Oh, I'm not sure. After, they cleared out her trailer and moved her stuff, she kind of disappeared. But I know a gal who knew Betty, a pyrotechnist back from the Seekers of the Holy Bree. She's on set today, so maybe it's worth a shot.
A shot I don't have to dodge for a change.
Huh. How fun. Nope, that one is not a breakable one. Nope, that only opens from the other side. Okay.
You call it a trap. I call it an all-inclusive adventure.
Cheese.
No trace of Wanda's friend, but people always leave something. Fingerprints, keepsakes, regrets.
Need some ammo.
So serene, so peaceful. You can start a love story here, maybe even a happily ever after.
No honeymooners today.
Wait, what? We're actually playing them? All right, everyone. 5-minute break. Rocky stuck. Again.
Alright, and I think that's enough. Obviously, we'll go and play a bunch more games in the next video, but I think for now, we are good. So let's wrap the video up. Well, alright guys, that's a wrap for this video, and it seems like we made a pretty damn badass PC. Again, it might not look like much. We had to definitely give up some looks for some cheapness, but when all said and done, it is a PC. It plays games great, and it's only gonna get better with time, because we can upgrade it. We can do whatever we want with it. If I feel like it, we can put it in a real case one day. I probably won't though, I think I'll leave it in this one. This one's funny, and it's quiet as all hell too. It's probably one of my quietest computers. But that is pretty much that. We will obviously make more videos on other games, and I'll probably go do something similar like I did with some other systems and go do like the Steam top 10 chart on this again or something like that. Or just test a plethora of games. Just go pick some fun games to try out on it. And obviously if there's any games you would like to see on this thing, just let me know. That's one of the things I love doing here, is doing requests and playing a bunch of games. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. And I'd give you a peace out with my right hand, but it's still not 100%, but we're getting there. But that pinky still doesn't want to listen 100% yet. So I'll leave you with a left-handed peace out, and until the next video.